Chosen one, surprise funds are coming. Be ready. This is not just a phrase, not just a headline placed to capture your attention. It is a declaration flowing into your spirit at the exact right moment. There are seasons in life where you prepare, you wait, you endure, and then suddenly, something beyond expectation steps into your story. That is what is happening now. You are walking into a chapter where what you did not see coming, what you did not imagine arriving this quickly, will show up and alter everything. Surprise funds, resources sent by God, doors that swing wide without notice. This is what has been aligned for you. You have been positioned, often in silence, often in shadows. And now you are about to see the evidence of why you had to wait. What's on its way carries more than money. It carries proof that God did not forget you, that heaven's timing has always been precise, and that your life is part of a larger orchestration. Watch this video until the end, because every word is unlocking what your soul already knows. You are chosen, you are marked, and your breakthrough has been written. And in this moment, add your energy to this unfolding. Go into the comments and share your warmest wishes. Pour them out with sincerity and write 777 alongside them. This is more than interaction. It is agreement. It is releasing intention into the universe, allowing your wishes to ripple outward, carrying your name and your faith into divine recognition. Wishes come true when they are set free, and as you write, you are energizing the path in front of you. You are not just waiting anymore, you are declaring. Now, chosen one, press the hype button under the video and like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. Chosen one, when God hides something for you, He hides it in plain sight. He conceals opportunities, connections, and resources until the moment your hands are strong enough to hold them and your heart is humble enough to protect them. The funds that are coming are not simply to meet a need. They are to elevate you to the place you were always designed to stand. You may not have known where the support would come from. You may have looked at the emptiness of certain seasons and asked why nothing seemed to move. Yet God was aligning a surprise. He was moving through channels unseen by you, preparing signatures, opening financial streams, shifting people's hearts, and stirring generosity where you least expected it. When the funds arrive, they will not just be enough. They will be a clear sign that the waiting season was never wasted. Every detail of your journey has been preparation for this moment. The delays, the confusion, the closed doors, none of them were mistakes. They were signals pointing toward divine timing. If the release had come earlier, you might have spent it in circles that no longer serve you. If the help had come sooner, you might have placed it into hands that were not trustworthy. But now, as the surprise funds draw near, you will notice something remarkable. Your wisdom has grown, your discernment has sharpened, and your heart has learned what matters most. This is why God waited. This is why He allowed you to walk through certain struggles. He was not punishing you. He was positioning you for abundance that could not be squandered. Imagine the moment you open your eyes to find that what once felt out of reach is now within your grasp. Imagine discovering that an unexpected deposit has been made, that an unlooked-for blessing has landed on your doorstep, that an overlooked opportunity is suddenly handed to you. This is not imagination alone. It is manifestation in motion. The funds are moving toward you as you breathe, as you listen, as you continue to believe. They carry the mark of heaven's signature, undeniable and unstoppable. No delay can erase them. No opposition can cancel them. What God has released is irreversible. Chosen one, these surprise funds are more than numbers in an account. They are answers to prayers whispered in dark nights. They are compensation for sacrifices no one else noticed. They are recognition from heaven that your faith has not been wasted. You have given when you had little. You have stayed when it was easier to walk away. And you have carried hope when disappointment weighed heavy. God saw it all. And now, the release is your portion. What is arriving is a reflection of your persistence, but even more, it is evidence of God's faithfulness. He did not abandon you. He has been orchestrating your moment of increase all along. As you prepare to receive, know that the surprise is not only in the funds themselves, but in the way they will arrive. They will come from directions you never calculated. A phone call, a message, an open door, a forgotten connection, an overdue return. All of these are possible channels. What will shock you most is not the amount, though it will be significant, but the manner. God loves to exceed expectation. He delights in orchestrating what human logic cannot explain. When the funds appear, people will ask how it happened. They will try to trace the path, but only you will know the truth. It was God's hand, arranging every step, hiding the blessing until the right time, and then revealing it all at once. These funds will not only cover needs, but will also ignite dreams. They will breathe life into visions that felt like they were fading. They will carry you into projects that had to be paused, into spaces that once seemed too costly, into opportunities that once seemed reserved for others. They will confirm that you are not behind, not forgotten, not left out. Instead, you are right on time. The surprise is part of the design. The delay was never denial. And now the release is proof that God has kept His promise. Chosen one, you may feel the stirring already. You may sense the pull of what is on its way. That restlessness in your spirit is confirmation. That quiet knowing in your heart is validation. You do not have to force anything. You do not have to chase anything. The surprise is coming because it has already been set in motion. Funds are shifting hands, paperwork is being finalized, approvals are being signed, and you are about to see it. All at once, what you carried in faith will become what you hold in your hands. The story is not ending in lack. It is not ending in struggle. It is not ending in silence. It is unfolding into abundance, into surprise, into joy. This is the season you will look back on and say, I did not see it coming, but God did. I did not know how it would happen, but He did. And now I stand with what I once only dreamed of. Surprise funds are coming, and you are ready. Not because you forced readiness, but because God has shaped you into the vessel that can carry what is about to arrive. Chosen one, when God begins to move on your behalf, everything around you starts to shift, even before you see the evidence. It's like the unseen wind before a storm. You may not see where it comes from, but you feel it, and you know something is stirring. The surprise funds heading toward you are already being processed in realms you cannot track. Banks, signatures, decisions, hearts, all of them are aligning without your knowledge. You may look around and see stillness, but in truth, motion is everywhere. People you don't even know are making choices right now that will lead to your increase. Rooms where your name has never been spoken are echoing with your possibility. This is the hidden orchestration of God, preparing to place in your hands what will shock even you. This is why it has often felt like nothing was happening. You were waiting for visible progress, but the truth is, God was arranging invisible foundations. Think of a seed in the soil. There are weeks, sometimes months, where nothing breaks the surface. But beneath, roots are expanding, structures are being built, and strength is being formed. That is what the funds represent. They are the sprouting of roots that were growing for far longer than you realized. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared for the moment when the soil finally gives way and growth appears where there was once only waiting. Chosen one, the surprise element is important. God could have told you every detail ahead of time, but He chose not to. Why? Because the impact of surprise creates joy that ordinary expectation cannot carry. When something shows up suddenly, without your planning, it shocks the heart awake. It fills you with gratitude deeper than words. It reminds you that life is not just equations, not just calculations, but divine orchestration. The surprise funds are arriving to remind you that God's ways are higher, that His timing is unmatched, and that His generosity surpasses your careful plans. You have worked. You have saved. You have stretched what little you had. But this moment is beyond your calculation. It is God's delight, not your effort, that is bringing this release. There will be signs before the release. Pay attention, not in fear, but in wonder. You may begin to notice small confirmations, unexpected discounts, sudden reimbursements, overlooked debts being cleared. These are hints of the larger movement. They are the whispers before the arrival, the faint glow before the sunrise. They signal that the channel is open, and once it opens, there is no shutting it. The stream of surprise funds flows until it fulfills the assignment God has placed upon it. The assignment is not random. It is not only to carry you into comfort, but to carry you into your calling. Money alone cannot define you, but resources released by heaven can position you to step boldly into what was always yours. The funds will shock many who thought they understood your story. Some may have labeled you as one who would always struggle, one who would always lack, one who would always need. But when the surprise arrives, those voices will be silenced. Not by your argument, but by the evidence. Nothing silences doubt like proof. Nothing silences mockery like manifestation. And that is what is on its way to you. Undeniable evidence that God's hand rests on you. Not a theory, not a possibility. Evidence. Evidence that speaks louder than excuses, louder than lies, louder than doubts. Evidence that cannot be erased. Chosen one, as these funds come, you will notice something powerful. You are not the same person who once worried over every coin. You are not the same soul who once wondered if God heard your prayers. The arrival of the funds is not just an external shift. It is also an internal recognition. You will realize how much you've grown. You will realize that while you were waiting for resources, God was shaping your resilience. While you were longing for provision, He was crafting your perspective. Now, when the surprise appears, you will hold it with a steadiness you did not have before. You will carry it with gratitude rather than fear, with wisdom rather than waste, with purpose rather than panic. That transformation is as valuable as the funds themselves. There is a rhythm to divine timing, and you are stepping into it now. Think of how tides move in and out with precision. No matter how strong the waves, No matter how fierce the winds, the tide always returns. So too with provision. No matter how dry the season, no matter how long the silence, the return is inevitable. The funds coming your way are not a random interruption. They are part of the tide God has set in motion for your life. And just as no human hand can stop the tide, no obstacle can stop what is headed for you. The release is written. The timing is sure. The delivery is guaranteed. Imagine yourself standing in that moment. The message arrives. The notification appears. The news is spoken. And suddenly, what you thought would take months, even years, is here. The release is not trickling in slowly. It is showing up in fullness. That is why the word surprise matters, because you will not have time to overthink it, to overanalyze it, to question whether you are worthy. You will simply receive. You will simply stand in awe. You will simply say, "This was God. This was always God." The funds are not far. They are not delayed. They are not uncertain. They are already on their way, carried by the current of divine alignment. Every day that passes brings them closer. Every prayer you have whispered has built this moment. Every tear you have shed has watered this soil. And now the harvest is breaking through. You may have thought your story was about enduring lack, but it was always about displaying abundance. You may have thought the waiting was about your weakness, but it was always about God's faithfulness. And now that faithfulness is about to be written across your life in undeniable ways. Chosen one, surprise funds are coming. Be ready, not in fear, but in joy. Be ready, not with worry, but with wonder. Be ready, not because you have to control the outcome, but because God has already controlled it. The release is near, and when it arrives, you will stand in a new chapter. One you could not have predicted. One you could not have planned. One you will never forget. Chosen one, every miracle that God sends has a timing, and every timing has a sound. If you listen closely, you can almost hear the sound of movement in the air. It is not the sound of ordinary transactions or routine deposits. It is the sound of something sacred crossing the line from unseen into seen. The surprise funds coming toward you are wrapped in this sound. They are not arriving quietly because they carry more than numbers. They carry testimony. They carry restoration. They carry vindication. When the release happens, it will not just feel like money appeared. It will feel like heaven itself interrupted your life to remind you who you are. So often you have wondered if the struggle had a purpose. Nights of counting what little you had. Days of stretching beyond what seemed possible. Those moments carved strength into your soul. They also created a hunger that only God could fill. Now that hunger is about to be satisfied in a way that shocks you. The surprise will feel almost too good to be true, but it will be undeniable. Every receipt, every confirmation, every document will prove that it is real. What once was an invisible promise will stand as tangible evidence. And you will realize that the waiting was not wasted. It was woven into the release. The longer the silence, the louder the testimony when the funds appear. Chosen one, this release will do more than sustain you. It will shift how others perceive you. People who once dismissed your story, who once doubted your resilience, will have no choice but to see what has changed. The sudden arrival of funds will speak in ways words cannot. It will show that God does not forget His chosen. It will show that every delay was only preparation. It will show that the path you have walked though filled with shadows, has led you into a field of abundance. And what is most powerful is that the funds are not coming because of people's approval. They are coming because of God's decision. No one can reverse what He has released. No one can block what has already been signed in heaven. This surprise will not resemble your past provisions. In the past, you may have scraped by, stretching what little came into your hands. But this release is different. It will carry the mark of overflow. It will not merely cover expenses, it will clear the air of uncertainty. It will release you from cycles that tried to keep you small. It will allow you to breathe differently, to think differently, to step into places you once only dreamed of. The surprise will feel like a door unlocking, and behind that door lies a landscape of opportunities. Projects paused will resume. Ideas shelved will come alive. Connections long silent will awaken. That is the power of funds when they are sent by God. They do more than buy. They build. There is also a rhythm of restoration in this release. Think of the debts you carried, whether financial, emotional, or spiritual. This arrival will address them in unexpected ways. Some debts will be cleared without your effort. Some weights will lift without your pushing. Some obstacles will crumble without your strength. The surprise funds are not just arriving to give you new beginnings. They are arriving to close old chapters. They are the full stop at the end of sentences that were never meant to last forever. They will allow you to walk lighter, freer, more certain of your path. You will no longer be defined by what you lacked. You will be recognized by what you carry. Chosen one, God delights in moments like this. He hides blessings until the right time and then releases them suddenly so that you can never mistake the source. When the funds appear, you will not be able to credit coincidence. You will not be able to claim chance. You will know it was God, and that knowledge will change the way you see everything. You will remember the nights you cried and realize they watered this harvest.